This first event is 9 injured in Providence shooting to recover, expected to recover. And this happened May 13th. Now, I did a previous video about Exodus and said that expect to see a shooting, a mass shooting on the Ascension Day. Now, in my video, I mistakenly said May 1st. I don't know where I got that from because it's not 40 days from Easter Sunday. So there seems to be some confusion as to when exactly Ascension Day is, simply because some say it's from the date of his death, and then others say it's the date of Easter Sunday. So my calculation was the 15th of May, which I left in the comments as a correction. Ascension Day, it was Thursday, May 13th. So that's 40 days after Easter Sunday. This event happened on Ascension Day. Not that it's really any surprise, considering these shootings happen quite frequently. So, yeah, but it did happen on the 13th like I expected. However, when you look at the coding in this event, it does directly tie into the Exodus and Ascension Day.
Authorities have given us some updates, but we should caution you that the investigation is still developing rapidly today. We do know 8 people were shot last night at about 7 o'clock on Carolina Avenue. A 9th person actually injured from glass shards on the scene.
Okay, so she said it was 8 people plus a 9th person who were injured, and so that's your 1 and your 8 for your Alpha and Omega, and your number 9 for your Christ consciousness or your completion number. And it happened around 7 p.m. for your Heaven on Earth, and it happened on Carolina Avenue. So someone was struck by glass shards. Glass shards was a code that I brought up in a previous video about a year ago when I first started decoding videos. It was mentioned quite frequently. So gap, crack, that's what shard refers to, which is about the crack in the earthenware or the dome or the illusion, the veil. So this has come up quite a bit. Carolina was the street that it took place on, and that's a feminine derivative of Charles. Charles means husband. Avenue is a way of approach, a way of access, act of approaching, arrival. So Ascension Day is arrival, to come, to arrive, to reach, arrive at, venir, to come. So this is all to do with, this is your way of arriving to find your husband. I will get to that in a moment. This is an interview with the Colonel Hugh T. Clements. Hugh means mind, soul, thought, heart, mind, and Clements means merciful. So merciful soul. God have mercy on your soul. And he's Providence police chief. So Providence is foresight, prudent anticipation, timely care, preparation, divine providence, foresight, to see. So this is to do with having your intuition, foresight, seeing into the future, your third eye open, knowing what's going on, and your third eye is your one eye, your Odin. I'll get to that in a minute as well. Rhode Island. Road means rose. Rose. Red Island. Jesus was known as the Rose. Rose, as to rise, is another form of rose. Snake, rose. Pomegranate. Phoenician erode snake, for serpents were said to have anciently infested the island. But your snake is your kundalini rising. Pomegranate. So pomegranates have diverse cultural, religious significance as a symbol of life and fertility, owing to their many seeds, but also as a symbol of power, as the imperial orb. blood and death. Pomegranates already symbolize fertility, beauty, and eternal life in Greek and Persian mythology. Pomegranates are highly revered, and they are featured prominently in religious pictures and paintings. And now we're going to talk about the name Charles. It means husband, which also means free man. And I don't think it means the same as the freeman movement. I think it's something else. I think it means being free from the duality. The funny thing is, when I mentioned this to a friend of mine, she reminded me that the plot of American Gods was about this woman who is searching for her husband. Her husband, Shadow, is an ex-convict who's released from prison early because his wife was killed. Now, he is a free man. So she ends up coming back from the dead and going in search of her husband. And he is in the company of gods. So when you become a free man, you walk in the company of gods. That's how I see it. And the reason I see it that way is lately I have been feeling that I have a hard time, and you probably are feeling similarly. I'm having a very hard time being in the company of sleepers, for lack of a better word. And so when I was explaining this to a friend of mine, I was reading Neville Goddard, and there was a passage in the book that said, and I'm paraphrasing, it said that gods seek the company of other gods. Because once you're on a certain level, you find it very hard to relate to other people because you can't have conversations with them that are satisfying. Basically, you're going to have to revert to small talk. So that ties into this, and I've been binging American Gods, which ties into the husband. And my friend, she happened to send me a link to a video that was all about we have to find our husband. So I thought it was very synchronistic that all of these things happened to occur at the very same time that I'm doing research on this video. So I think it's very significant that we have to find our husband, and our husband is our free man. Our free man means freedom from the duality, I think. And I think once you are parted from the duality, you seek the company of gods. So the mundane life doesn't do it for you anymore. Story number 2 is about a 4-year-old boy who was found dead in Dallas. He was found dead in the street, blood in the street. Now, this is dated May 16th.
4-year-old boy who was found dead on Saturday morning on Saddle Ridge Drive in the Mountain Creek area. His mom calls him Cash Jernin.
That would be the 15th, Saturday morning. So the 15th. Okay, so Cash Jernin, which is a very unusual name. Cash obviously refers to money, money in hand, coin, money box. But Jernin, I'm not really sure how to spell his last name. I can't find a spelling of his last name, so I can't analyze what Jernin means at this moment.
There is now a growing memorial where Jernin's body was found on the street. And all throughout the weekend, police have been canvassing the area looking for evidence.
So this happened on Saddle Ridge and Wood Homestead. Now, I said earlier that I would get to Wood. Well, here we are. Saddle Ridge. So saddle is seat for a rider in an active position of management. You're in the saddle, back in the saddle. To load with a burden. Ridge means back of a man or a beast. Back ridge, the top or the crest of anything. So saddle ridge, I guess if you're riding the back of the beast, has to do with the system. So drive to compel or urge to move, impel in some direction or manner, to hunt deer, pursue, to rush against, drive, push, work with energy, labor. Wood is tree or trees, forest, grove, and You've got violently insane, mad, frenzied, possessed, seer, poet, to blow, inspire, spiritually arouse, the god Odin. Odin is Woden, or Woden's Day, Wednesday, wood. So Odin is wood, is the seer, is spiritually aroused, to awaken your third eye, to be able to see. Homestead, hometown, village, a lot of land adequate for the maintenance of a family.
Dallas police and the FBI arrested 18-year-old Darren Brown on kidnapping and theft charges.
So he was arrested. His name is Darren Brown. There's not much in his name. So this boy was charged with kidnapping, and kidnapping is rapture, the act of carrying off, seizure, rape. So hear stories about rape or kidnapping. It's about the rapture. Abduction, snatching away, rape, rapture.
They would see Brown walking in the neighborhood.
See the big X on the back of her sweatshirt? Says Lil X. This X stands for XRP. I have seen this in other stories where they just randomly place a person right in front of the camera who has a big X on their shirt. It stands for XRP. Or Christ. Either one, same thing. Second coming, brand new world, the VV.
Katie Guillen showed up to this.
Her name is Katie. Katie barred the door, a brouhaha, a turbulent, combative situation. The notion is get ready for trouble. So they're flat out telling you, this is a warning, get ready for trouble. These stories are warning you that something big is coming.
Scene with her daughter to reflect.
How do you just throw away a body like he's nothing?
Notice how they said to reflect, and then they show her story in a mirror, literally. To turn or bend back, to divert or turn aside, deflect, bend back, turn one's thoughts back on.
They brought flowers and said a prayer.
Okay, little boy.
Mom tells me Jernan leaves behind his twin brother.
How do you hurt a kid?
He's wearing a basketball shirt, basket-backed currency. He left behind a twin. Twin meaning he left behind the duality.
I believe a single individual killed the child with an edged weapon around 5:30 a.m. in the 75.
And he was killed with an edged weapon, which is kind of like a knife or a ridge.
100 block of Saddle Ridge Drive.
Even for us as police officers, we are shocked. We're very angry about what has happened to this small child.
Throughout the day, Dallas.
This to me is the pièce de résistance. This part right here, they just put it in your face at this point. I mean, come on, like they need 4 horsemen to come to this crime scene. What the heck is this? So they literally have a red horse, a black horse, a white horse, and a pale horse. Literally have the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse show up. Oh boy.
Mounted patrol and the bike unit searched a wooded area at the end of the street, looking for clues and trying to find anyone.
They searched a wooded area. There's another mention of wood. Beware of dog or God.
We have information, but right now it's the circumstances of
369 on the car. So here's the third story. Now this is a story of 13-year-old Tristan Bailey, 13 for your Christ. And Tristan Bailey was murdered by a classmate.
Tell First Coast News Bailey was stabbed multiple times. I know those are details that are hard to hear tonight. And her death has been ruled a homicide. Police say they found clothing that tested positive for the presence of blood in the bedroom of the suspect, Aiden Fuji.
And that suspect will stay behind bars until at least the end of May, we've learned. The 14-year-old had his first court appearance this morning. A judge ordering him to stay in detention for the next 21 days.
Okay, so first of all, Tristan comes from the root word trist or triste, which is sad or sadness. mournful, gloomy, and the name means noise, to clatter, bold, noise of arms. Basically, it refers to sadness from war. Bailey, a wall enclosing an outer court. Bale, stake, palisade, brace. And if you notice, she has braces. So that's two references to brace. Verb to brace, brace the nerves. Brace oneself, to place oneself in the position of a brace in anticipation of some shock or impact. This is what I think it is. I think they're telling us to brace for impact. This just happened to appear in my YouTube feed. Brace for impact. Her attacker was named Aiden. Can't find any definition for his surname, but Aiden means little fire. Fire has been a common theme in a lot of these events. To me, this is just another reference to water. There's always a reference to water. There's constant references to water, as well as island. Island has come up a few times, as well as Brittany or Britain. So Britain is an island, England is an island. I don't know if that's referring to literally England, if there's going to be some sort of problem with England or something, but that's what I'm seeing, so I'm just going to mention it.
All around this particular area here at the amenity center where she was last seen alive, Tristan, that is, we had a couple bunches of flowers out here yesterday. Now it just wraps all the way around this little island of plants.
Island, see?
I wanted to point out the aqua. You know, the aqua and the teal.
So the island is surrounded by flowers with aqua, which is water. Aqua, water, sea, rain, royal water. So called for its power to dissolve gold and other noble metals. Wasn't that interesting? So this island is surrounded by flowers tied with a ribbon in aqua, because that was her favorite color. And it is royal water. Island, England.
Tanya White helped coach 13-year-old Tristan Bailey in cheerleading and cannot believe what's happened to her.
So she was a cheerleader. Cheer, to face, countenance, share, the face, 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 head, cara, horn, head, frame of mind, state of feeling, spirit, mood, humor. So in a lot of events that happened around a year ago, in some of the events that I decoded back then, head was mentioned quite a bit, like kaput, decapitate, pilot, captain, head, that sort of thing. This could be similar in that sense, but I also think this has to do with state of gladness or joy. This has to do with joy. This word keeps popping up time and time again. Joy, a synonym for joy, is rapture. So she was a cheerleader for a team called the Chargers, one who loads. Now we just saw another word that was another code to be burdened with a load. This is war horse, horse ridden in charging. So there's another reference to a horse. Now, the four horsemen of the apocalypse have been coming up a lot in events and even in my own life, just in things I've been seeing. The other day, I saw 2 white horses in a TV show I was watching. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are symbolic of the zodiac, or representative of the zodiac. 4 horses represent the 4 seasons, basically, from the 2 equinoxes and the two solstices.
It's very sad for both families. It's
7-3, that's 3 sevens.
very sad.
A report issued
Sad, again, is Trist or Trist.
Tuesday by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office says surveillance video shows Bailey walking with 14-year-old Aiden Fucci, now charged with her murder, around 1:15 a.m.
115 for your number 7.
Day at the community's amenity center. They are seen at a home surveillance video about 30 minutes later, walking in the direction toward the woods where Bailey's body was found the next day.
Another mention of woods. Again, another cheerleading outfit. She's got the word infinity, which is for your infinity loop, your number 8. And then they put wings around her. Now, I just want to play this part with this neighbor who pops up.
Many families. It hit me hard, and it made me mad, and it made me sad, and
Her name is Dana Garrison, and it made me mad and it hit me hard. This is the impact. She's creating an impact. Garrison, store, treasure, defense, protection, safety, security, crops, food, salvation, healing, recovery, cure, from guerrilla, to take care of, protect, defend, war, to protect, guard, wear, to cover, fortified stronghold, body of troops in a fortress. This is about war, but it's also about a fortified stronghold, a place to store your treasure. So perhaps this has something to do with, again, either war or attacking the financial system. And her name was Dana, and Dana is God is my judge, arbiter, or generosity. So this story is just a short one. I'm not going to dig too deep into this, but it happened on Westwood. There's a mention of Wood again, and Watford Drive in League City. And it was the murder-suicide of a wife and her husband.
Again, residents and neighbors are sort of in a state of shock and disbelief that this happened at this home here in their neighborhood. Court documents also reveal that Erica Allen petitioned for a divorce and filed for a temporary restraining order against her husband, Nicholas Allen, on the same day in July 2020. These are neighbors helping neighbors.
We are helping clean up so this homeowner doesn't have to come out here with her.
His t-shirt is aqua, and house number was 7. 4 and 3 was 7.
Her little kids and see this.
Brandon Schilcher lives just across the street. He was home last night when he heard gunfire. He got on the phone with 911 and helped guide them in the neighborhood.
I know one of the dispatchers that I was speaking with had a map pulled up on her side, so we were able to identify roads, different alleyways over here.
Across the street, Erica Allen, a 35-year-old mother of 2 and principal at Heights Elementary in Texas City.
Her school is red, Heights Elementary. Her husband's school is blue. So this is, again, a red versus blue.
We had barbecues with them. We'd drink beer together. We'd, have little fires in the fire pit. Totally blown away.
And barbecues has to do with carnivore or carnival, getting rid of the flesh, which is the leavening. So he's just mentioned barbecue, and that's what that reference is to. They're all connected. They're all the same story, just different phases of the story of the leavening and what stage we're at. Okay, so based on the research I have done on XRP and its patterns, and these events have been happening around or on these religious holidays that have to do with Jesus. So, the life activities of Jesus, the character in the Bible. And shortly after or on the day, something happens in the market or happens with XRP specifically. And so I have basically proven that XRP is Jesus Christ. The archetype is embedded in this cryptocurrency. It rose drastically on the 15th, which is on the weekend following the 13th of Ascension Day. And my prediction was the 15th that something would happen, that would be Ascension Day. So it's in that ballpark. Now, granted, it didn't really skyrocket past its all-time high or anything, but it did rise. And it has been behaving differently ever since. I think this was a mark of its departure away from Bitcoin. Because typically all of the altcoins, they move in tandem with Bitcoin. Bitcoin takes the lead and all the altcoins follow. So this to me was an indication that XRP has broken away from Bitcoin. And I think that's what this event signifies. Not necessarily that it is going to skyrocket in price, but this is a breakaway in declaring its independence and marking its territory. So right now, what has happened since then is Elon Musk has been tweeting since May 13th. May 12th even, he said he wasn't going to sell any Bitcoin, but he doesn't want to accept it for purchases anymore at Tesla. And he has cited the reason that it has high energy consumption, particularly from fossil fuel energy like coal. And he's been having a war with Bitcoin ever since, and as a result the market has crashed. Now all the YouTubers and the mainstream media will have you believe that it's a direct result of Elon Musk's tweets and his refusal to accept payment of Bitcoin for Tesla that has caused this turbulence and a subsequent crash in the value of Bitcoin. I beg to differ. I do not think that one man and his ramblings on Twitter can cause such an upheaval in one coin, let alone the entire market. They want us to believe this. They want Elon Musk to be the patsy or the scapegoat for what their plan is. And that's why Elon Musk has been joking around with Dogecoin, going on SNL, and then he throws everyone under the bus by calling Dogecoin a hustle. So he's flat out telling you what these coins are, and now people are attacking him for telling the truth. But they're attacking him because he misled them. He, was telling everybody he was all in on Bitcoin and Dogecoin, and now he's like, oh no, I can't use it. As if he didn't know. The man who created PayPal with Peter Thiel, who created, whose investments have created Ripple and Stellar and a whole long list of other technological advancements that are going to take over the world and lead the way to transhumanism and the new world system. You're going to tell me that Elon Musk doesn't know what Bitcoin and Dogecoin and XRP really are? The market has plummeted. Bitcoin has dropped 25% in 7 days. The sentiment in the marketplace right now is people aren't buying the dip. They're selling, they're getting out, they're panicking, they're fearful, and they're freaking out. And a lot of people they've had it and they see the light and they're out. And XRP has held its position. It's even increased in the past 24 hours. So for XRP to increase while all the other coins are blood in the streets, that's pretty significant, and it has shown that it has broken away from the trend of following Bitcoin's lead. So this could be the moment that XRP put a stake in the ground and said, we're rising up, we're headed for number one spot. It might take some time, it may not be a straight shot, in the matter of a day or two, but this might be the stake in the ground that XRP has declared its position and it's going for number one. So it is now May 20th, and at the time of recording the rest of this video, the flash crash had not happened yet. So, well, part of it had, but yesterday was pretty significant drop. I believe the last I heard it was about 50% drop. So what I wanted to sort of add to this was the mainstream narrative around this crash is that they are blaming either China for banning crypto or they're blaming Elon Musk. I don't think either one of them is what caused this crash. Somebody else on Twitter had said that they think that it's because people were over leveraged and things were hyperinflated, and so it had to come down. I don't agree with that either. What I think is going on here, and this is pure hypothesis, I suspect that the whales at the top, the people who hold the most amount of crypto, even the crappy coins, they needed a crash to cover a movement of money. They needed to pull their money out because regulation is coming soon. They needed to shift things around, and they needed to do it undercover so that people were caught up in the confusion and could not see where things were coming or going. So if there's mass confusion and mass panic across the board and everything dumps, now they can take that money that they took out and put it back into the right coins, because they know that regulation is coming. They know that the switch is going to flip very soon, and they don't want to be holding the bag on these crappy coins that have no value, and also the crappy coins that aren't going to last. So they want to be in the right investments, because everybody knows China is heavy into crypto. I don't know whether it's a complete BS story that they banned crypto or if it's partial BS, but regardless, it's BS, and that ban will turn. As for Elon Musk, the narrative on his issues with the energy that Bitcoin uses, I mean, I mentioned this in a previous video, and he is very likely going to be the guy who comes up with the energy solution for Bitcoin and other high energy consuming cryptos. He's the one who has Tesla cars. He's got the Tesla name. So for him to all of a sudden say, hey, what about this Tesla tech where we can harness ether energy and use free energy? I'm on it. Regardless, he is making a statement that these coins don't work because they consume too much energy, and all the green coins like XRP are taking the head of the narrative now, and so the tide has turned, and that is what I think is going on here, and that is what I think the news stories have been warning about, is that this is the start of the Ascension. This is the start of XRP rising. If you have any additional insights you'd like to add, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.